Hey guys, it's Kelly in California, and I'm here at Master Gardener Debbie Langley's house. We're going to find out today from Debbie what it takes to be a Master Gardener, what is a Master Gardener, and how do Master Gardeners in your community help gardeners like you and your garden to be better. Debbie, how did you get interested in the Master Gardeners program, and how did you become a Master Gardener?
Well, I guess I've always been interested in gardening. I've done it in most of my life. But the Master Gardener program here in California was designed by the University of California system because they were doing all this research, but there was this void or gap in getting it to the home gardener. So they were starting to get inundated with calls, and they were doing the research, they were doing the teaching. So they really needed a medium to get it to the public. And so that's why they created Master Gardeners. We're sort of that intermediate step that gets the research that they're doing to the home gardener and making all that research available to them, and what works and what doesn't work and what's scientifically proven. And we only give scientifically proven information.
Well, that's important. You don't want to just chase dreams. When you're putting in that work as a gardener, you want to make sure that it's actually valid information that you're getting, because otherwise you're wasting your time.
That's true.
And Debbie, what are some of the things that you have to do in order to become a Master Gardener?
Okay, the Master Gardener program is a 6-month program. And here in Monterey and Santa Cruz and San Benito County, it runs every other year. So we just graduated class in 2024, so the next class won't be until 2026. And from January through May, it's Saturdays from 8 till 4. And it usually averages getting a weekend off a month, because we know that some people work full time, and so with the holidays you manage to get about a weekend off.
So it's not just for retired people. Anybody can go ahead and apply to be a Master Gardener?
Yes, we had several that were younger, in their 20s,
oh, that's
30s.
Great. I love to hear that.
Yes, and then some, of course, that waited till they were retired.
That's great. I think that it's very interesting, the Master Gardeners program. And how intensive is it?
Well, you have a few books that you go through. One is Integrated Pest Management, and then they also have a book that covers everything from soil management to watering, irrigation, which is very important, to plants. They have you go over different programs like CalScape, the Native Plant Society. Okay. So there's a lot of different topics. And the nice thing about the UC program is you're often getting taught by the people who write the books.
Okay.
So you'll have professors come in.
And it's good for them too, because they learn about, maybe changes that they need to make.
Yes.
Or improve.
Yes.
Now, do you learn about botany at all in those courses?
We do some, introductory botany. But it's not as intensive as you would do if you went to a university or community college and took a class. They sort of skim the surface and make sure you know the basics.
And what kind of involvement do you do with the community as a Master Gardener?
There's so many events going on. Well, first, the Master Gardener program, when you go through it, you do pay a small fee for the program. And then after you're finished, the commitment you're making with the UC, the Extension Division, is that you will put in 25 hours of volunteer work a year to maintain your Master Gardener level. The first year, however, it's 50 hours. And so we have a lot of volunteer opportunities. There's demonstration gardens that we have. We have one in Watsonville, a new one that just opened up. There's Selena's propagation, where we share.
Me and propagation.
I know, that's my favorite. That's my favorite area. But we're really fortunate to have this huge greenhouse that we share with their research division. And they've dedicated probably about half of that to the master gardeners for us to
Now, I've
grow.
noticed, because when I met Debbie at the Master Gardener's Fall Plant Sale, picking up my lovely salvias and a selection of other things at a great price, I have to say, and they're so healthy, these plants. I was impressed.
They are.
And so that was the location, I think, that you're referring to.
Yes, we have the greenhouse where we get everything started from seeds and cuttings. And then once they are a little more established, we take them to the shade house. And it's a wonderful system. We just got new tables in the shade house. And so everything's healthy. And everybody says it's the soil that makes the plant so healthy.
It begins with the soil. And I'm
it's
trying
all about
to
the
personally
soil.
improve the soil in my garden, because when I started my garden, it was dirt and weeds, and it was compacted soil.
Yeah.
And so it's still it's still a relatively young garden. And you said you moved into this moved onto this property what year?
2001, we bought the house.
So you've been gardening and transitioning, how long did it take you for the soil amendment?
Oh, we're still working on the soil. We have very clay, alkaline soil up here, and that's something you'll learn in the Master Gardeners. You'll take your soil sample, and you'll find out.
Oh, good.
Yes, if it's acidic or alkaline, and what kind of soil it is, and you'll learn different tests to do. Because some people have a mixture sometimes.
It's so hard to know as a home gardener with little education. I do research online for myself to try and make my garden better and make me a better gardener. But it's so hard to know, what things that you can change to make things better, because sometimes it makes it worse what you think
Yes. Well, natives are wonderful, of course, because they can adapt to the type of soil we all have. They're used to that. But the more ornamental type flowers, we say our soil is like gold. And it really is, because we take the soil that we get and we amend it with vermiculite, perlite. We'll add sustain, usually a fertilizer, a slow-release fertilizer. So it's got all those nice, rich amendments in it. And you'll just see the plants when they just take off.
Oh, that is so exciting. I just want to make my garden so much better. I love gardens, because visually it's beautiful. It's like if you could make your garden be the Garden of Eden, where everything is just perfect and blooming and lovely and lush, that's the perfect ideal to me garden.
Yes.
And but on the other hand, things can be so personalized in a garden.
They can.
So say I like rustic types of accents to the garden. The next person might like straight lines, very formal, and there's no wrong.
That's right.
No wrong or right in a garden, in your taste for gardening, and you can appreciate all of them.
And sometimes your taste changes over times too.
That is true. I've noticed that as well. Pest management. You learn about pest management?
We do. They take an integrative approach, a holistic approach. They really don't encourage pesticides.
I try not to use pesticides in my garden as well.
No, and anything you will purchase from a Master Gardener sale, there's no pesticides in it. You really need to be careful with the pollinators, particularly. When you go and purchase those, you'll often see on the label, may be cancerous causing or carcinogenic. That will actually harm the bees and the butterflies.
And that's important to me, because bees and butterflies, but hummingbirds.
Yes.
Not that bees and butterflies aren't important, because I love them too. But I got hummingbirds because I have so many salvias and sage, which they love.
They love.
I have them constantly in the garden, and it's important to me that I'm not doing anything that would harm the hummingbirds.
Right. And penstemon and trumpet flowers, anything with that sort of funnel shape, they love.
Yeah, and you can picture it, because with the shape that they're looking for and their long little
feet.
Yeah.
It's right in there.
Maybe that's what Is it really expensive to go through the Master Gardening
No, and
course?
most programs offer scholarships as well, but I think it's around $300 now to go through the training, which is really...
Oh, it's less than a new phone. I mean,
Right.
a lot less than a new phone.
Right.
Priorities.
Right. And you meet, the nice thing too, is you're not just learning from the instructors. You have a wealth of knowledge among all these friends you make in the Master Gardener program. And then you're meeting the other classes when you go out and do like a PIB is one of the things we do. That's called a public information booth. And we try to have those at a lot of gardening events. Yesterday we were doing a series on garden design at the Monterey County Libraries. So we've partnered with the libraries and we're doing how to design your garden. And yesterday was a 2-hour class, and we've got a series of 4 of those.
I think most gardeners would enjoy
Design, right.
designing how, and I'm at that point where I'm just trying to make plants happy.
Okay.
To think about design and actually placing plant placements, like, okay, I'm at stage 1, that's like stage, you know. But I want to, and I read recently, I visited a garden in Ireland. It's Patthana garden in Ireland, and the garden is absolutely beautiful, and he's also an artist. And TJ wrote a book. The book is, and I'm reading that right now and rereading. And it's just, he has this way of using color and texture in the garden. It's absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And his is a huge garden by any means, probably about the same as yours, maybe less. Mm-hmm. But it's the use of focal points and color and using the color wheel and from an artist's point of view, how helpful that can be. So that is a book to look out for. And I'll put it up. I'll find a picture of it and put it up for you.
That. Book club where we will get together and we'll read a book, usually about every couple months, and then we'll discuss it on Zoom.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
Oh, good. That's great.
And the Master Gardeners, we get together for social events. We'll take hikes. So there's a lot of camaraderie in the program.
Great. And I have to say is that we met for the first time at the Fall Plant Sale.
Right.
And like, it wasn't long before you were saying, come visit my greenhouse and I've got some plants you can have.
Exactly.
And I'm always saying on my channel how giving gardeners are and how much we want to help other gardeners if we can.
Yes.
And that just is my point, is that, you know, everywhere you go, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, your neighbor or a family member or some stranger that's not a stranger anymore. They're constantly wanting to share clippings and seeds, and you know, it's such a wonderful community, the gardening community.
It is. And actually yesterday when we were doing that workshop, they had a seed library. So we went over there checking it out, and I'm thinking, well, their flowers are empty. They don't have a native category, no seeds there. Oh. So we go up to them, we would like to donate to your library. So now a bunch of us I'm going to be doing a lot of flower seeds, but some others have more native seeds that we'll be donating. So you can go there and get free seeds.
And you know, I had somebody just mention, Christy mentioned on one of my last videos, that in Clovis, her community library does that. They use old cards, library cards, and have seeds free seeds for people to get at the library. So I thought that was a great idea. It is. In Monterey County is doing that as well.
Yes.
That's perfect. I love that you get involved with the community and you have resources available for the community. It's not a hard thing to look for if you need help and you're with gardening.
Yes, we're very involved. More so, we keep getting more involved every year with new projects. Another new one we started is called the PAG, Portable Edible Garden. And while we're promoting this, it doesn't take a lot of space to have even some vegetables and teach your family how to eat healthy and grow vegetables. And this program, what we give them is a grow bag. We give them the plants that we've grown in our greenhouse, peppers, tomatoes. We let them pick them out, and then we show them how to plant them, and we give them a watering can with it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And this you'll see at several libraries.
That
yes.
is great. Now, who funds that kind of thing?
This one is funded by the Master Gardeners.
Okay.
And some of this will write grants for the Monterey County Gives program.
Okay.
That's one of the things that's the portable edible garden.
Oh, that's great.
Is being supported by the Monterey Gives.
That's great. And I do have a question that one of my viewers wanted to ask you, and this could be like so many facets involved, but how do you know how much to water a plant?
Oh,
I mean, that's got to be one of the most popular questions.
It is.
Right?
And you know, the thing is, sometimes underwatering and overwatering, the plant will look similar.
That's the hard part.
The yellowing
because if
of
you
the
Google
leaves.
it, will say yellowing leaves mean you're watering too much, or it could mean you're not watering enough.
Right. And then some people swear by the, stick the thumb or finger in until it comes up to your knuckle. And if it's wet, then it's okay. And lots of times I'll use that around here. I'll just stick my finger in. If you want to be a little more precise, get a little water meter and just stick it in your plant.
Okay.
I was actually at it wasn't Earthbound, it was Me Earth. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No.
But there, they grow a lot of natives, mostly natives. I think that's all they grow. And the gentleman there, he says it will take him up to 9 hours to water in his greenhouse there. And this is at the height of their plants. But he puts the water meter in every single plant.
Wow.
I'm not that dedicated.
Yeah. There's only so much time in the day.
Exactly.
And especially if you work outside of the home.
Yes.
And like with me, I've got the YouTube channel as well. So you
Right.
filter all of that in. It's like there's only so much you can do in your garden in one day.
Well, it's times if it's like a pot, I can pick it up and I can tell if it needs water. And if it's very light, and then I do stick my finger in there sometimes if I'm in doubt and I'll water it. But if you can put things on the outside on drip, then you're getting a certain amount of water every day. And
Okay.
that's probably the more precise.
What I have noticed that in a lot of plant tags that you get when you buy something from, especially the big box stores, like Lowe's, or and not bashing Lowe's in particular, but is the plant nursery tag will say likes full sun or part shade, but what they really mean is part shade, not in your area. They can't handle full sun.
Right. Right. It does.
And the same with water. It's like they'll say likes to be moist or whatever, and I'm like, I have no moist anywhere in my yard.
No, me neither.
But watering can be a tough issue to figure out, and it takes a lot of observation sometimes.
It does.
But drip, you're saying, is the way to go.
Yes, and then it utilizes the water better to drip than, you get so much evaporation with the hand watering. And I do hand water when it gets 100 plus degrees up here. I'll supplement with hand watering. But
because you were saying it can reach the hundreds here, up here.
Yes,
Yeah.
so many little microclimates in our area.
Yes. And you're the top of the hill. You're closer to the sun.
Oh, that's true.
It's beautiful up here, too.
Thank
It's
you.
absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
So, talking about water, is that you were showing me your rain system, your storage.
Yes.
Because you are on a shared well, and you didn't want to be using shared well water for in your greenhouse. So the system that you devised, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, basically we have a couple of rain barrels underneath the spout that gather the rain, and then my husband just put a fitting on them to go to these they're called industrial food totes, and there's this big clear plastic totes that you can get on Craigslist. They're giving them away now. When we bought them, I think they were $50 a piece, but compared to buying a cistern, which could be thousands, it's a really inexpensive way to go. And then he covered it with the black plastic to prevent any algae growth in there. And so that by gravity, it holds, each one of them, we've got 4, holds 285 gallons. And then by gravity, it just goes to the greenhouse. And then we got a little spigot you turn on, and it's like being in the kitchen, water.
That is so fantastic. And did you learn about water management in the Master
Yes,
Gardeners?
they do talk about water management.
And so that kind of led you down that road into thinking about that?
Well, they were talking about other systems, and so my husband's an engineer, so we really wanted something inexpensive. So he came up with that tote idea, and then with the plastic around it, really works well.
Yeah.
So
I
the
was
water's
impressed.
nice and
I'm
clean.
impressed by it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That is great. And we will eventually get water someday.
Yes.
We can go for months and months and months without water.
Right.
I mean, maybe we might get lucky and get a wet fog and, a morning or two, but that doesn't do a lot for, maybe succulents can take advantage of that, but most plants no. So we can go from May, and here we are getting towards the end of October, no rain. We had like 1 or 2 hours of rain on 2 separate days, like a month ago, I think.
Yeah,
and
we didn't even get that here. No.
And I've noticed the soil in my garden is just like, I will dig a hole to plant a plant, and
It's
that sand is just turned to rock.
Right.
It's just, and the plants can't grow roots in that kind of.
And I've got all these bulbs that I've been ordering, but I don't dare plant them yet because it's just bone dry. I'm waiting for the rains to come.
I planted some bulbs, a few bulbs in some of my raised beds, but yeah, in the ground, no. And I don't plant very many bulbs in the ground because of gophers. We've got gophers. I don't know if you have them up there.
Oh, yes.
But it's a big problem in North County. And so I've been putting them in my raised beds, but I did order some tulips, and those are not going in the ground without some kind of protection.
Right, right. Yes, I understand. I love bulbs in the springtime. And
what kind of bulbs are you planning for spring?
Well, I like the little miniature daffodils, and I've got those all along the hillside. And then different times of the season, then I've got the naked ladies, the amaryllis, they come up. And I've got these gladiola. They're called Byzantine, and they look like an orchid. They're beautiful. So I've got different bulbs coming up different places.
I love the springtime and sometimes it's even before spring here. I have gotten some daffodils blooming in late December.
Oh.
And then, I think it depends on when you plant them and the type of weather that you get, that year.
Right.
But I've gotten them as early as late December, and I'm like going, what?
And they're so nice when you've seen, it's been desolate for months, and then all of a sudden you see
you see this, and you're like, oh,
there's hope.
It's waking up. The garden is waking up. That's one of the things we share as gardeners. Now, do you also divide your bulbs?
Yes, yes, I do.
Do you give bulbs away too, or do you?
I do. My ours right now, are needing divided. So,
what other things for the spring are you planning? I know everybody starts to plan a little bit ahead.
Let's see. Well, I've cut my salvies back really hard, and some of them are getting woody, and they're about the end of their perennial lifespan. So I might be, replacing some of those in the spring. But I've got a forsythia that shows me that's like the first sign of spring with the bright yellow flowers.
Okay, that's
and I've
neat.
propagated that.
Oh,
so
good.
I propagate a lot of things in my garden.
Yeah, we share that. Is that I love to propagate. That's one of the most exciting things to me is propagating. And one of the reasons why I do so many succulents. Succulents are wonderful and they grow really well here. But one of the things is they're so easy to propagate.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. And when everything else is failing because of drought or whatever, you've got succulents, some kind of succulent that is in its growing mode, and you're like, yes.
Yes. And I love it when I propagated something and then I go to pot it up and you pull out and you've got these beautiful roots. It's like, there's nothing. Not a better feeling.
I know it. I love that. You talk about the Master Gardeners program, and you became a Master Gardener. What actually led you into wanting to go through the Master Gardeners program?
I think I wanted more knowledge. And I knew that they were research oriented. And my background is a psychologist, so we're
Okay.
research oriented.
That's
We're
important to you.
scientists, yes. And oftentimes my greenhouse is like a laboratory. Okay, this one's over here. I've done this, and this one here is my control.
I've said most of my adult life, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But I think here recently, since I started gardening, and it's been several years now, but now I'm starting to go, maybe I want to be a gardener. Maybe that's my
Exactly.
calling,
Yes,
So maybe
yes.
not, but but I do love it. I have a passion for gardening, and I have a passion for showing other people how to do things that I've learned and pass that on.
And that's what master gardeners are all about,
So I'm
really.
very, very seriously thinking about applying to the Master Gardeners program, but I don't want to take it lightly. I want to really research and make sure that it's right for me, because I know that it does take a big commitment, not just for the program, but after as well.
After, and I think
And
so,
I need to make
yes.
sure that I'm prepared to do that, because I don't want to go through the master programs, maybe take somebody's spot, and then, not follow through.
Right.
So it's important to me that I really think about it hard. So,
Yes, well, I think you'd be a wonderful addition.
oh, thanks. But we're going to stroll around and get some pictures of the garden, some videos, and
Well,
show
like I
us.
said, right now it doesn't look very good, but yeah.
Everybody's garden in the fall is going.
I've packed everything back. Into it, so I just created a little, it's a little pollinator garden.
So cute. And is this a Japanese maple?
It is. And you can see it gets really hot, the 100 plus days, sort of crispy. The leaves are sort of crispy from that, but it'll come back.
Yeah. And don't they drop their leaves normally in the colder
Yes,
months?
they do.
So it's about that time.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal. Okay.
Mallows do really well in my garden, and I love the different kinds. Of course, hollyhocks are mallow. This is a mallow. This one the flax I probably like because it looks like a mallow. The flowers.
It's such a pretty color.
It's grown by the master garden. It's called scarlet flax, and this particular one is an annual. And then this over here was one of the geraniums, I think. And then this is just a lantana. This is my birthday gift of what, Master Gardener.
Happy birthday.
I got this, it's a bonsai jacaranda. And the jacaranda have those beautiful blue flowers on them. This one only gets about 12 feet tall. But I wanted it because I wanted to get some shade in here. Because I've got these pots, and like I said, it gets hot up here, and they fry, so I wanted to give them some shade. As well as these olive trees I have over here. They provide a little bit of shade.
Beautiful.
And this plant is a really unusual one. It gets these purple flowers. It's called a Kool-Aid plant. And the reason it's called that is when you smell the flowers, it smells like grape Kool-Aid.
Oh.
I can't remember the botanical name for it. And of course, this is a foxglove. And this is one that I just started propagating, and it's called a mixed petunia. And it gets big like this, and then it has these beautiful purple flowers on the end of it.
It is beautiful.
Really easy to propagate.
I like the shape of the leaves, too.
Yes, they're very pretty. And of course, I love penstemons, and I've been planting new penstemon. And this is a salvia over here. Let's see, just a couple geraniums. This little guy here, one of the ways I pin things up is I'll use little hair clips. And I buy these at the dollar store. And like this one right here is a climbing gloxinia. And it's got these beautiful tubular flowers on it when it's in bloom. And I tried it on that blue obelisk over there, but this one, it seems to be taking. And then I'll just put put these in place with these little hair clips to keep it up.
Okay. Okay.
I have a few fruit trees, an apricot that I just planted. We have a cherry, a plum, a Santa Rosa plum, an orange, which I don't know the variety of, but that's been here so long. And then I have a tangerine down there. And we're just going to start doing some deep watering on those because they like the deep watering.
So you have your garden helper there with you.
Yes, she's our little watchdog. I'm going to be propagating this guy soon. Another birdhouse my husband built. Okay. Painters, but this is typically my Ostromeria bed, and I've got different Ostromerias coming up, sprouting again.
Beautiful.
This is one of my favorite. I love the long ones. The yellow is just so vivid. This is sort of my little shortcut through
Your
here.
shortcut. We all have those, don't we?
And of course, right now, the mums.
Debbie, these mums are beautiful. What are these? Do you know where you got them and what they're called?
Oh, I don't know. They've been in here for so
love the
long.
little pink in there.
Yeah, they just come back every year. So,
Wow. Beautiful.
this is some of my overflow that I had when I was cleaning out the greenhouse. I just put them in here.
Overflow.
Yeah.
It's overflowing. Wow.
I'll show you some of the things in here. Let's see. All of this I've propagated. This was a geranium I found on the side of the road, and I thought it was such a pretty color. So
On the side of the road,
I took
where?
some cuttings in Salinas. So I took a few cuttings,
Aw.
got that. But I was telling you about the maples, the little maple trees.
Yes.
What I do is I just dig them up, and this is one of the little seedlings. And if somebody wanted to use it as a bonsai, they can make it, or they could put it in the ground and have a Japanese maple.
Beautiful.
This is a new one for me. This one is, clean it up a little.
See ya.
This one is called a Chinese foxglove.
Okay.
Have you ever seen this one?
I don't know that I have. No.
I actually like this one. I love foxglove, but this one has these nice little tubular flowers, bright pink, and the hummingbirds love these.
Oh.
And these were easier to grow for me than the regular foxglove.
Huh.
But I don't have any. They're not in bloom right now, but this one will be going in the plant sale. Let's see what
When
else.
is the next plant sale?
Well, we have
And I'm
two.
talking about the Master Gardener's plant sale.
We have two a year. We have one in usually April, and then one in October.
Okay.
So spring and fall.
Okay.
And this, remember me showing you that Mexican petunia?
Yes.
This is one that
Okay.
propagated a whole tray of those.
Oh, good for you.
And these are doing very well. This plant is not sold here in California. I actually got this in Arizona. I have little seedlings come up in the spring, and I dig those up, and then I put them in pots.
Mispropagation.
And a lot of my plants, I grew for the Carmel Valley Garden Show. I've got to do YouTube on that because it's now rivaling the San Francisco Flower Show. But the Carmel Valley Garden Show, they have vendors. They have competition of every level, every kind of flower. You'll see hundreds of flowers. And then they have a plant sale. They have a succulent tent. They have a flower tent. They have tomato and vegetable tent for all kinds of things for sale. And a lot of these are master gardeners that sell.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I donate.
When is that?
I donated over 2,000 plants.
Well, I bet you did.
And that is going to be, let's see, I think it's the first or second weekend in May. I think it's the first, not Mother's Day weekend.
Gone. I'll be in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes, those Japanese maples are something. They're very stunning.
This is my greenhouse, and I just cleaned it out. Now, if you come back in a few months, every one of these shelves will be full of plants.
Oh, I bet.
And seedlings.
Wow, this is like a food grade type.
Yes.
Wow.
So, we've
sterile
got,
environment.
yeah, we've got like 10 by 20 trays, and the trays will be lined up. Then I've got drips to water them from the bottom up.
How exciting.
And then I've got, my heating mats for my seedlings. So,
Wow.
yeah. Oh, and this is my little thing.